The journey to getting better is simply that. It's a journey. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Day 3, y'all. We are kicking off this morning, diving in to a subject matter that is going to be probably the most challenging one out of this week's teaching series. So, good morning. Thank you for showing back up. How many of you guys have been enjoying these morning sessions already? I've gone through the comments. I'm not even going to talk about the comments right now because I'm trying to practice something different. I'm trying to practice not giving too much attention to the comment section while we're talking, because I know, these mornings are filled. We got a lot of stuff going on. I want to get to the teaching. Okay, so thank you, Miss Cynthia, for being here this morning. Thank you, Miss Jocelyn. Thank you so much, all of you guys. Kendrick and Maria, you guys show up. My love, Karen, thank you for always popping into the class and being a part. Okay, thank you once again, everybody who was a part of the cruise. Effective Living Cruise. We're going back in 2024. You want to learn more about that? Reach out to me and let me know. We want to make sure we take a big delegation next year, and we're going to plan it in a way that makes sure, listen, guys, all of us gets to do something really unique and take the experience to the next level. This morning, we're continuing on this teaching series where we're diving into the whole concept of how to stop lying to yourself. Now, Joanne, a lot of people don't know that this is a struggle everybody faces. You have to be very intentional not to lie to yourself. Okay? You have to be very, very intentional. Miss Carol, Miss Sybil, you have to be very, very intentional. Or else what happens is, just out of pure habit, human nature would have us to suppress the truth. And what happens is the inner self, the knowing in our knower. Come on, Pastor Brother Claire. Come on. Listen, the knowing in our knower says what we're experiencing, there is some uninteresting factors going on. And you're not feeling so good about what you're going through because there is some uneasiness. Yeah, there is some I've been there for a long time. You ever driven off and you felt at your very core you're not whole, you're not complete, you're disturbed, you're denying yourself so much because you're lying to yourself, and you're saying I'm okay when you're not, and you're just wanting people to think you're okay. I can't let people see me cry. I can't let people see me weak. My mama told me never to cry. What will people think of me? All of that is external. If you're going to be free and live your life at your very best, you're going to have to get past the elephant in the room. You're going to have to get past the skeleton in the closet. It's me versus me in this season. This is fourth quarter living. There's nothing holding me back but me. So with that said, every lie that I've told myself, I'm now looking at those lies. And I'm now setting myself up to address the skeletons in the closet, the lies that I've leaned in on, and I've almost felt like they were now truths. We say lies. I'll talk more about those tomorrow. I'll talk about the lies we continue to tell ourselves when they're not true. So I'll give a whole list of lies. Don't miss tomorrow. Of lies, common lies. But then I want to deal with how to stop lying to yourself. So this one is a rough one. Then tomorrow I'll give a whole list of lies we tell ourselves that you got to really break down, destroy, uproot, and move on. Come on. I'm working on me. Come on. I'm working on me. Vito, are you working on you? Jamal, are you working on you? Come on, Joanne, are you working on you? Lynette, are you working? See, no more excuses. No more excuses. When you're at your best self, you're going to be able to provide humanity. You're going to be able to give the best service possible. because your life is going to be more in your hands, where God is going to allow you to navigate yourself along the journey to not having the same type of mistakes you've made in the past. So this morning, I want to dive into what I believe is one of the more difficult subjects in addressing this whole lying to ourselves. And what is that? I want to teach you. I want to lean into this idea that you have to now learn how to properly, I call it, criticize yourself constructively. Yep. Criticize yourself constructively. Now that's boy Miller, you walking on eggshells. Come on, Miss Phyllis, are you feeling me? You're walking on eggshells. Criticizing yourself constructively. In other words, you're okay with calling out you. You're calling out you. And you're not calling out you to beat yourself up. You're not calling out you to put yourself in a depressed state. You're not calling out you to lower your value. You're calling out you so that you don't keep repeating the same behavior. Okay? Watch this. Looking at yourself honestly can be a tough thing. Looking at yourself honestly can be a tough thing, but you don't have to beat yourself or blame yourself for the things that you actually find as a fault. You just have to call a spade a spade. Now, I know some of you guys in the community, y'all okay with calling out people. Come on. How many of you can say, I'm okay with calling out people? Now, the question is, how good are you with calling out you? How good are you with calling out you? Now, tomorrow I will be talking about a whole list of lies we tell ourselves, right? But before I go to the whole list of lies we tell ourselves, the question is, are you prepared to call you out on your own crap? Let me tell you something, man. I've struggled, man. Oh, have I struggled over the years with self-denial and failing to address what needed to be addressed. And I'm still working through a lot of it, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. My wife testifies that I'm getting better. My friends are testifying that I'm getting better. My mom is testifying that I'm getting better. My siblings are saying, I was sitting down having dinner with both friends, Dominic, who's here in Texas, and Cedric Dinkins, who was on the cruise while we're in the Bahamas. And he said, Miller, this is a different Ricardo Miller. Listen, Coach Delamager, you would love this. I had a goal last year when I watched you on the cruise, you dance. Melissa, if you're here this morning, listen, I saw Coach Della stepped out on the floor and just danced without caring about what other people thought of her. She just stepped out and danced. And I made it a goal. I'm going to go in and I'm going to address that. What's wrong with you? You're 48 years old, Ricardo Miller, and you're afraid to step out and be who you need to be at any given moment. Why? And so on the cruise this time, they didn't have no music on. I just stepped out and came out from the table, and I just needed to dance just for a minute. And some people started to shout because I did a church shout. Yeah, I did a church shout. Let me tell you something. You got to go in there and you got to figure out, listen. If we got to use the word criticize, use the word criticize, but criticize yourself constructively. Why in the good God, grace and mercy am I 48 and I don't have an emergency fund? Why I've been in this world 3 decades. I've been in this world 4 decades. I've been in this world 5 decades. Why in the world that my credit score is a mess? Why in the world? Why would I live so recklessly that listen, man, that I have not set myself up to win? I am talented. I am gifted. I have multiple concepts in my head where, listen, others are making millions from that which I am doing or could do, but yet I'm where I am. You better get to the core of where you are and start looking at yourself. And I call it criticize yourself constructively. In other words, These are not good. Ricardo Miller, these are not good. Stop lying to yourself. It's okay. It's not okay. Can I get about 10 of you to agree right now? You look at the situation and you know it's not okay. You know it's not okay. Had I addressed that years ago, I would have addressed the fact that it was not okay to pay me what I was settling for. You heard what I just said, settling for. It was not okay to talk to me like that. It was not okay for me to stay that long. It was not okay for me to allow myself not to be considered. It was not okay. But because I have not been honest with myself and I've been saying more than I need, I'm helping somebody this morning. I ain't looking at the comment section. I'm coming to y'all later. Comments, I'm coming to y'all later. But I need someone to receive this in their spirit. Listen, it is not okay. And I'm not saying that for you to say that to someone. I'm saying that you need to learn how to say that to yourself. It's not okay for you to be giving your service for free. It is not okay for you to be crying more than you're laughing. It is not okay for you to be qualified and not considered for the position. It is not okay for you to only have one stream of income when you're more talented than the three people that are around you who have multiple streams of income. But you are saying it's okay. It's not. It's not okay. So how do you maximize your potential? How do you get the best of you to show up in the world? You're going to have to call yourself out. Kendrick, is this good? Miss Cynthia, is this good stuff or what? Come on, help me out. It is not okay. At some point, we gotta get real. We gotta get honest. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And so here's the deal. I'm not talking to my parents. I'm not talking to the boss. I'm not talking to the government. I'm not talking to the neighbors. I'm not talking to my children. I'm not talking to my spouse. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. A lot of root causes for lying to oneself is based in the fact that we're not willing to call ourselves out, and we're continuing to say things are okay that are not. Things are not okay, but you're calling it okay. Okay? Lately, I've been making a list of things that I found that's not okay. But then I found that there's a struggle in me, John Wells. There's a struggle in me to get past what I know. It's not okay, but I'm saying it's okay. And in me, I know it's not okay. So I'm having to learn, Ricardo, you're going to have to break out this box, because here's what I found to be true. Okay? Here, Mother Katie, here's what I found to be true. It is difficult to change a behavior that you've embraced for a long time. That is wrong, but you've embraced it for a long time. It's a mindset that you've held on to for a long time. It's not a good mindset. It's not the right mindset. It's actually very limiting. It's held you back. And the people around you see it. Some people have actually been strong enough to say it. But you keep lying to yourself. And so how many of you have established goals? That's one of the things that keeps me going. Okay. I do know I have this inner turmoil, that fight within that says, you should be in a better state than where you are. And then I start thinking, oh, well, I'm doing better than this group of guys that I know, and I'm doing better than this person. I'm doing better than this. And I start, what do they call that word? What do they call it? I start justifying. I start justifying. And watch this. When you start justifying the suppressing of your potential, you will never maximize your potential. Whenever you start justifying the suppressing, okay? In other words, playing small. Whenever you start justifying playing small, you will never maximize your potential. I'm thankful for my wife, boy. Ooh, I'm thankful for this woman because she calls me out. When I say, listen, and we talk every now and again, I'm learning how to, watch this, criticize myself constructively. And then I'm looking forward to having those who are covenantly doing life with me to get closer to me, to call me out on things that I'm doing that actually is limiting me from being my best self. Yeah, I'm getting better at that because a lot of my friends, just as you are, there are people who are close to you, know that you deserve more, but because you're not demanding more from yourself, they'll let you settle for what you've been settling for. Okay? There is no limit to who you can be. Listen, there is no limits to who you can be. You set the limits on you based on your expectation or your mindset that governs your expectation. So whatever you think about, you become. So if you're constantly thinking that's not me and I'll never be and it's okay, guess what? You'll stay there. It'll stay there. So these morning sessions, okay, Brittany, these morning sessions are set to cause us to get up every morning feeling disturbed in our spirit, to get up and fight another good fight. Fight the good fight of faith, reminding yourself every day I'm getting up and I'm chipping away at becoming more of who I should have been a long time ago. Every day, I'm working on becoming more of who I should have been a long time ago. And if you start to be honest with yourself and you're hanging out in this community for a month, you'll start to see your mindset shift. And it's going to push you where you have not gone before. But that's okay. It's going to push you where you're going to have to do something you have not done before, and it's going to cause you to grow. And growing pains is going to become uncomfortable. And then what you could do is you can exit the group and you could start settling and going back to your norm, or you could start pushing yourself to the uncomfortableness that this platform is going to drive you towards. It's going to push you towards. And that means now when you assess and you look at yourself and you say, you know what? This week, I am not spending that kind of money. The rest of the month, I'm not spending that kind of money because where I want to be financially at the end of the year. For me, I just came off a cruise. The thing that I did the most on the cruise was eat. I ate so much food. I enjoyed the food. I had a blast. But over the next 2 months, I'm learning how to pull back and watch what I eat, because I'm trying to pull back, because as I move towards 50, y'all, I'm not going to indulge and lie to myself and say it's okay, but my stomach is starting to bulge. It's starting to pop out a little bit more than I want it to pop out. So I'm saying to you, please honor yourself by being critical of you in a healthy way. Let me say that again. Of you in a healthy way. Now, everybody's not going to agree with me with this. I'm not trying to get everybody to agree with me. I'm trying to get you to work on you. And I'm telling you, one of the things that I've had to do, number one, I had to admit, Miller, you're lying to yourself. Number two, I had to forgive myself for the stupid, dumb mistakes that I've made. And now I've learned how to criticize myself and says, I'm critiquing, criticizing, assessing, and dissecting the parts of me constructively. Key word is constructively, meaning to build me up. I use the word constructively because I'm going to get better because of what I'm looking at and how I'm looking at it. I am not playing patty cake with me. I am too old. I'm 48 years old and I can't be playing patty cake with me, because if I keep doing this life the way I'm doing this life, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to stay stuck. And I'm going to find myself on the street called regret. It is not the will of God for you to live a life of regret. So here's what my takeaway for you today. Go ahead and learn how to call it what it is. Is that hard? It's hard. I know it's been hard for me, but I'm getting better at it. Call it as it is. Learn to call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. Call it bull crap. Okay? Call it weak. Okay? And then, see, when you start constructively, criticizing yourself, You start to look at your very core. And then if you got some divine covenant helpers who are assigned to help you, they can help you get past what you have not been able to get past by assisting you to break free of the stronghold. Because let me tell you something, some of the stuff we got to get past, we're going to have to be very brutal, and we're going to have to be very strong, and we're going to have to be very so-called mean with ourselves. Everybody's not going to agree with what I'm saying today. I'm not trying to get everybody to agree. This word is for somebody who knows. But listen, if you don't learn how to criticize yourself constructively, you will constantly be justifying your current position and putting it in a nice, cute position of acceptance. Okay? A nice, cute acceptance. But at your very core, deep within, is saying this ain't right. You should have been management now. You should have had your own business by now. You should have been making 6 figures by now. Why aren't you the boss by now? Why are you living like this? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? And this is not external factors. This is the inner calling of your potential demanding that you fight the good fight of faith within. There's a fight within that you got to get through that will cause the greatness within you to emerge, where you got to tell yourself enough is enough. I am not settling. Procrastination, you got to go. What's this? Passivity, you got to go. Weak and what's this? So-called reserve, no more. Confidence is my portion. Okay? Courage is what I'm going to have to walk with and within. I will be who God has created me to be, but it's going to have me to roar. It's going to have me to emerge. It's going to have me to push. So over the next 3 months, I'm going to exercise like I've never exercised. I'm going to work on my money like I've never worked on my money. I'm going to dive into the word of God. I'm going to pray. I'm going to fast. I'm going to worship. I'm going to have meditation time. I'm going to separate myself from the cares of this world, and I'm going to be at a richer state that I've ever been when it comes to my spiritual position. I'm going to build my business out so that as I move towards 49, I can like who I am and what I'm becoming from a financial standpoint. I want to get better with my body. I want to get better with my social circle. I want to get better when it comes to fun. I want my wife and I to laugh every day. I want us to constantly be raising the bar on excelling and winning in marriage and family. And I want to get rid of all of the toxic mess that have kept me so bound for years. Now, here's the deal. That has nothing to do with people. That has everything to do with me. And I'm here today to tell you, self-examination will have you to be very critical. When your life depends on it, the word criticize is going to be acceptable for you. Okay, I'm going to learn how to criticize myself constructively. When you dissect where you are, you're going to tell yourself, I can't afford to not go to the gym. I can't afford not to work out. I cannot afford to be buying that kind of stuff when this is how I want to end the year. I can't afford to hang with people like this. There are some people who may have more than you, but they're still wanting you to be less than them, and you need to learn how to cut them off because they're not good for you. But you can't even identify because you're not real with you. You're not honest with you. You're lying to you. And until you get to the point where you realize everybody's not good for you, and you start to realize where's the win-win in this. Listen, if you're a part of effective living and you're a part of winning in this season of your life, you know I teach. Listen, it's all about win-win now. It's not you win, I lose, or I win and you lose. It's win-win. And here's the deal. There are some people who can't accept that. Some people like being a sucker. Some people like being taken advantage of. I'm going to do life, and I'm going to stay close to people who I want to see them win, and they want to see me win, and we're both going up together. If you want to go up together, we can do life together. That means you're winning, and I'm winning. We're winning. Let's keep climbing. But here's the deal. Some people, they won't be honest. They won't be honest to say that very clearly as I look at my life, I have messed up. I've been lying to myself. I've been saying some people are good and they're not. And I've been calling it what I've been calling it to justify my position. To justify my position. Oh, I want to go so much further, but I'm going to push. Tomorrow I'm going to push. I'm going to talk about some things that you really got to address. Because if you're going to get better, one of the things you can't be doing, everything we're going to talk about for the rest of the year has nothing to do with external factors. The rest, it's all about me. It's all about you. It's all about me versus me. It's all about working within to get the best out of me. When this year ends, I don't want anything to be that external factor that I claim is my reason for not soaring. Okay, next stop, the top. Everything I put my hands to, I want to prosper within. Nothing missing, lacking, or broken. So here's what you got to do. You're going to have to learn how to criticize yourself constructively. In your journaling, in your prayer time, God, I've not been good in this area, but I know I can get better. God, I've messed up big time. You know, I was talking to my son and I told him, hey man, I look back, I was present, but I was also absent. I was present but absent. I gave some level of conversation, but didn't give the depth of it that I should have. And I had to apologize for some things. I criticize myself constructively in regards to some of my health, some of my finances, some of my relationship challenges that I've had over the years. For years, I pride myself on having friends I've had forever, and half of them weren't even good for me. A good percentage of them weren't good for me. And I had to let a lot of them go. I had to let them go. I had to let them go. Because, see, once I started to criticize myself constructively, I had to now establish the new rule of order that I discovered, which is we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time around. So if the people around you aren't growing and going to new levels and new heights, you have to be strong and accept that you are a reflection of your association. You are a reflection of your association. So you're going to have to level up. I'm closing with that. You're going to have to level up. This is the season I'm leveling up. Hello? Come on, somebody. Kim, declare it with me. Brittany, declare it with me. Come on, Jamal. This is the season I'm leveling up. So I'm going to make some adjustments. Everybody's not going to like the decision you make. But here's the deal. You're trying to work on you. And let me tell you, one of the greatest reasons for you wanting to work on you so that God could be glorified. I want to hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant. God's not done with me yet. Say that with me. God's not done with me yet. Don't claim, oh, I'm going to talk about them lies we tell ourselves tomorrow. Don't miss it. But God's not done with me yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up some things. Stop lying to myself. See y'all tomorrow. Don't miss it. It's going to be good, y'all. Bye-bye.